But he wanted to do a video on the entire garden. I came out here, I just did a video about a weird tomato looking thing growing on a potato plant that I found. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check out that video. But wanted to kind of walk through everything here in the garden. This might take a while, but here we go. I'm kind of in the middle of the garden, so we're going to start right where I'm at. Turning the camera around. Broom corn, or excuse me, Mennonite sorghum is doing pretty good. It is up to my armpits. This one here is. This one's actually even taller. It's up to my shoulders, up to my chin. I'm looking forward to this growing 10 to 12 feet tall, and this will stay all the way until fall. I'll harvest it, collect some grain for seed next year, and then mill this. Maybe I'll juice it. I don't know how I'm going to extract the juice, but this will be cooked down and turned into some molasses. And then adjacent to the broom corn sorghum, or the Mennonite sorghum, is the broom corn sorghum. Again, can be used for some syrup or molasses qualities. Also can be turned into brooms, and the grain can be used as well. So there is that's doing quite well. And just to the left of that broom corn sorghum, I have double standard sweet corn, and it is tasseled out, very short. I didn't know exactly how high this was going to be, but it's in the neighborhood of 4 to 5 feet. There are some at the far end, you can see poking way over there, is about 6 feet tall. So but let's take a close look at some of the stalks. Now here is a good candidate for seed collection, and I'll tell you why. If you follow the stalk here, you have 1 and 2 corn coming off of there. And then here's another good candidate for seed stock. See, that one's got 2 corn stalks coming off, or 2 corn cobs coming off of it. And you'll also notice that some of the oh geez, I can't think of the name, but anyway, some of the silk is clear, like this one, and the one right next to it is red. Some of the corn is yellow, and some of it's white. So we're going to have lots of different seed stock selections with this double standard. It is a sweet corn derived from a white heirloom variety, and I'm not sure about the yellow corn, what its origin is, but it's doing really good, and I'm excited to get that harvested. And what I did here is I intermixed some beans using the Three Sisters garden philosophy, and everywhere there was a little bit of space and some sun, I popped in some beans, and you can see that it's curling around there and growing up and doing a fair job. I only planted beans on the outside back row on the north, and then I planted some beans on the first 3 rows of the other side of this. So, oh, look at that. Here's some beans growing all the way up to the top here, and it's growing to here as well. So that's doing really good. All right, let me walk through here. I want to get to a row that has some beans planted in it. Okay, here we go. Let me go through here the rest of the way. Like I said, the first 3 rows on the south side I planted beans as well, and you can see the beans growing here. These were planted late, obviously, because I had to let the corn grow up, but there's one bean. I think these are green. These are Kentucky Wonder Pole beans, and then the next row back I think is the Missouri Wonder Pole beans, and then the next row back yet again is the purple potted pole bean, and you can see the purple stems. So, and all of those are doing extremely well, except for this one seems to be going the wrong direction. Let's see where we'll have to just go ahead and wrap that on around there. Let it start over. Okay. Let me look over here. This is a secondary planting I did. Step through the corn. You can see that we have 1, 2, 3. Anyway, there's 8 rows of corn. And on the far end over here, you can see here I've got all my summer squash or my winter squash planted next to the flax that is growing there that looks like the tall grass with the blue flowers on it. I ought to come out here one morning, early in the morning. That's all blue. It's real pretty. And then at the back side here, I've got more melons of sorts. The melons on this end aren't doing quite as good as the melons on that end, and I'll show you why. You can see where the sun kind of stops and the shade kind of starts with this tree. That tree eventually will come down because it's half dead. You can see dead branches all over it, because I do want to extend the garden out. But everything that's out here in the sun's doing great, and then some of the stuff, this is just morning shade, by the way, but they should still produce something. Alright, well, which way do you guys want to go? We can go check out the flax, let's go check out the flax. Here's a close-up of some of the summer squash, or the winter squash. And we also have some pumpkins. I planted some pumpkins. Some jack-o'-lantern type stuff. Check out these pretty blue flowers on the flax. There's a little bee. Can you see him? He's trying to pollinate it. Let me see if I can get in there close. So after they flower, then you get this bud, and that's where the seed's growing. I'll just go ahead and pop one of these off, see if I can break it open for you and show you. The seeds are kind of standing up inside here. They're a little difficult to see right now, but there's a few seeds, and they'll turn dark. We're going to go ahead and build a comb for these in an upcoming video. We're going to build a comb, we're going to rake them and harvest the seeds, and we're going to attempt to try to do some textile stuff with the stalk, because that's what that originally was designed for. And speaking of, if you don't know about the flax, it was primary textile, which is what clothes are made out of, prior to the cotton being #1 textile product. So the flax was kind of a pioneer of the clothes thing, and we're going to go through the entire process and try to see what we can't do with it. I don't have a spinning wheel. Maybe I'll get one, but we'll play around with it. But primarily I grew it for the seed, and secondarily I planted it for the textile purpose. Okay, so that's the flax. Oh, hey, take a look at this. Look at that deer print. There's another one. And another one. Got some monster deer coming in here, messing with the garden. There's a big one. There's my hand. There's the deer print. Kind of looks like moose tracks in here. Alright, so you can kind of see all the rest of the summer squash growing. And as they grow, I left a lot of room in the center here. I'm going to probably just aim everything to grow towards the center. Alright, let's go to the far side and check out some tomato plants and peppers, and I've got some sunflowers growing on over here. And okay, right here, I'm going to start right here. 3 rows of potatoes. Now, there are potatoes under there, and I dug some up on the far side, and the potatoes are not a whole lot. I got about 3 or 4 red potatoes per plant, but the soil on that end is horrible, and I should get a pretty good harvest out of these. I'm going to start harvesting when I see the plants starting to die. For example, this plant, oh, by the way, let me show you again. Where is it? I think it was right here. Okay, if you didn't see the past video, there's a tomato looking thing that's growing right on a tomato plant. So I don't know what that is. I have to keep an eye on it. But anyway, see these this tomato plant here is starting to die off. This might be blight, but I don't know. We're just going to let them go, and when the plant looks horrible on the top, I'm going to dig them up and start eating some potatoes. And oh, we got some beets here. Now the beets got overgrown with grass, and the deer were coming in here and just eating the entire tops. So kind of gave up on the beets. And the grass is horrible. I've been doing everything I can here to get some mulch in here to cover things up, and you can see that in the thin spots grass is coming back through, so I got to keep doing that. Eventually I'll get it under control. But anyway, here we got the 3 different types of potatoes: Yukon Golds, Reds, and Russets, or maybe they're white potatoes, I think. In this row right here we have okra. Okra typically is not a Michigan crop. Doesn't have the hot, long summers needed to grow a really good okra plant. But I started these from seed, got them out here. Here's a really good looking okra plant. Lots of budded flowers. They're going to be flowering out here pretty soon. This one here has some good ones on it too. You can see there's a nice okra bud right there that'll flower. And this was also okra. I only had a few pop up, and the grass took over, so I kind of gave up here. Here we have popcorn, 7 rows of popcorn, and it's not tasseling out yet. Here we have some, this is Bantam sweet corn, and I planted beans down at the base, and you can see those growing. And here's a good example of how it's climbing right up there. Alright, oh, look at that, there's another one. There's another one of them tomato things on the potatoes. I don't know what that is. That's kind of weird. I wonder if we had a cross-pollination between the tomatoes and the potatoes. So anyway, like the last video, I asked about if anybody's ever seen that before. Maybe they can help me out. Maybe this is normal for this type of potato. I'm going to go back and look at my book. I mapped everything out, and I'm going to see what this variety is. I'll try to post it in the description down below. All right, now over here, cole crops. I just went to planting a bunch of stuff here, and you know, we got some collards going, and we got some of the stuff I don't know until it heads, and some of it isn't really heading off, and I think it's because it didn't really grow before it got hot. But up this way, we are getting some kohlrabies, and I've been harvesting those through the grass, just kind of letting them go, and when they get big enough, I'll pull them out there. But let's see, I can't even tell what the camera's doing here. There we go. So they're growing. I've been harvesting them out and eating them as they get big enough. And here we got some more beans, and these are a runner bean, so I'm going to have to get a couple stakes at either end of this and run some string so it has something to climb. And then over here, okay, you can see a lot of grass, and this was 3 rows of a lot of carrots and things. The grass just got away from me. You can see some of the carrots here trying to grow through the grass. But let's just see what one of them look like. Probably nothing really down there. There it is right there. It's a little bitty red carrot. Turnips. Been harvesting turnips like crazy. Got a lot of those. And onions are doing great. They're bulbing out. I picked a few the other day that were about that big for some more stir fry. We got the rhubarb going here, and more radishes that have gone to seed. And we're almost over to the tomato section. And these are the mortgage lifters. These are the mortgage lifter tomatoes, and I think this might be one of the biggest ones so far. But there's my hand and there's a tomato. There's a couple more down this direction that are pretty good size. Again, there's my hand and there's a tomato. See how ugly them things are? But, all these are different varieties of tomatoes, planted in 5 each. Like 5 tomatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants here. These are all mortgage lifters. Up there, they're all they're 5 beef masters. And let's go to this end. Take a look at the beef masters. There's a couple more mortgage lifters right there. Okay, these are the Beefmaster tomatoes, and these are some pretty ugly tomatoes too. Look at those things. But they taste good, that's for sure. These seeds I got from an old farmer in Virginia. So I got 5 of those plants. Here is some grape-style cherry tomatoes. And some are starting to turn. You can kind of see the colors coming out in them. And look at how many grow on one bunch. Look at that. And here we have round tomatoes, round cherries. See? Bunches and bunches of round cherry tomatoes. I didn't stake any of these, which maybe I should have, but I'll get plenty of tomatoes out of them this year, plus enough for seed for next year, and maybe I'll stake them next year. I also planted some flowers here, and they haven't started to flower yet, but yeah, they're starting to get something right there, little flower bud. Gotta cut the grass down. That'll help. And we got some peppers. We got some peppers coming on. I picked a bunch yesterday. I have so many pepper plants that I don't care if I pick them small, because the way I look at it, the more you pick, the more they'll make. And there's going to be more than I can eat here shortly, so we pick them nice and young and start eating them right away. Now look at this. These peppers look like kind of like a jalapeno type pepper, but they're a green pepper, and they taste pretty darn good. Some of them come out purple. Right next to us here we have some sunflowers, and growing on some of the sunflowers we have some Chinese red long beans, and they're not doing real great, but there's one right there, and they should start wrapping around the stalks here pretty soon. Here's some more tomatoes. Some of these are yellow, some are striped. This looks like a pear type. This might be a yellow pear tomato. I don't have my book, so I don't know all the varieties. Let's see what else we got. There's some red stripes out here that are really, really good. There's a gnarly, ugly looking tomato right there. Look at that. Some of these are orange smooths. Look what the deer have been doing to some of the sunflowers. They just come in here and eat the tops right off the darn things. And but it actually tries to grow back. Like here, it got bit off right there. It went back a couple nodes and shot off 2 more shoots, and it started over. And here's a good example of that right here. This one was bit off way down there a long time ago, okay? And it shot off 2 shoots, which then doubled and split, and now it's got 4 shoots. So I don't know if the base plant can handle that much sunflower or not, but there it is. They kind of fixed itself. And that's a lot of what I'm hoping for in this garden. You know, I've got grass growing everywhere, and doing the best I can, but I got so much of it. It's okay, because I'm going to get a great harvest no matter what. I just do the best I can and try to improve on it next year. Here's some more of those Chinese red long beans. Let the camera adjust. And because the deer came in here and ate the sunflowers they were supposed to grow up against, I'm going to have to go ahead and put in probably a couple stakes there so it'll have something to climb. Some more tomatoes. Here, let me show you this one here. This one is a German pink. Looks like this one's not going to be very sturdy. I'm going to have to put a stake in this one too. This is a German pink tomato. Got this from Wayne Metter. Check out his channel. He also has a TV. He has a website, A World for Change. So go check out him. Look him up on YouTube and Google+. So there's some German pink tomatoes there, and I'm excited to see what those are going to look like. Oh, and look right here. Look what's growing. You may or may not know, I'm sure you've all seen this particular weed growing in your garden, but it is a wild edible. It's called common wood sorrel, and a lot of people call it clover, you know, the 4-leaf clover or 3-leaf clover. But what you do when you look at this is look at the leaf, and on the pattern you'll see it looks like a heart, and that's a good indication, along with the yellow flower, that it's common wood sorrel, and it is edible. It's got a nice little tangy type flavor to it. It's really good. You can pick this when you're picking your greens and sprinkle that on your salad. All right. Well, while we're on that subject, take a look at this. This is lamb's quarter, and it also is edible. And I'll show you. Doesn't taste bad. The smaller and tenderer the leaves are, the better it tastes. I've got some onions growing in here. Or those, you know what, those might be leeks. I don't know. Those might be leeks. All right. Can you guess what this is? It is not a typical Michigan crop, but I just wanted to play around with it. I won some seeds from a giveaway on YouTube, and these were in the pack, and it's tobacco. It's tobacco. It's a big old tobacco leaf. And you know what? Worst case scenario, if I'm growing something like this every year, I can trade it if I needed to or something. You know, I like to grow everything, a little bit of everything, just to keep the seed going. I'm hoping that Michigan has a long enough growing season that I can at least get this thing to bud out and give me seeds for the next year. If not, maybe I'll try growing one in the house. The buds on these things, there's thousands and thousands of seeds in there. Okay, in the seed pods, there's thousands of them. All right, moving over here, these are all jalapeno peppers. I haven't got any jalapeno peppers off of them yet, but if you look real close, they're starting. There's a little bud right there. All right, let's move on down here. This is the horseradish. more melons and gourds and tomatoes. Give you overall look at the garden here. There, this one here, this sunflower, that's coming right up to my chin. So that's about 4.5 feet tall. No, it's not. Sorry, 5 feet tall. I'm almost 6 foot. All right, keep on going here. There's a good example of deer just chowing on that one. There's another one with peppers sticking there. Some peppers coming on down low down here. Pull them out of the mulch. Lay them up on top. There's one way down there. Oh, pick that one. It's kind of light colored because it wasn't seeing any sun. There's a few more. Alright, up here I planted some popcorn and some excuse me, some more sorghum, but it didn't come up. So I lost one complete variety of seed because of the sorghum didn't come up, but that that popcorn, I can't remember, might be the same as that, might be different, but okay. Now from this section this way, this is where the soil is really horrible, and it's sandy. You can see by the color of those are all beans, and you can see that it's lacking nitrogen and just any type of nutrient at all. They're sickly looking, but they are producing, and I'll show you. So this kind of goes to show that it doesn't matter what type of soil you have, you can probably get something to grow in it and just improve on what you have. You don't have to start out with tons and tons of nutrients and soil and compost, and you can start slowly and work your way up, because this was clay / sand when I started. And got some peas here that you can tell the difference between the soils and the peas that are growing back here versus the peas that are growing in the raised bed garden. And you can see, so these are red potatoes, and you can see how sickly the plants are looking. So I went ahead and started digging up some of the potatoes, and I got, like I said, 3 or 4 per plant, and it was enough to get us started. And we're going to make some potato salad with it today. Here we have this is our asparagus, and lots of Mary Washington asparagus on this side, and I think this might be the purple variety here, purple passion. And look, it's starting to bud out, or it actually budded, and these are the seed buds, little seed pods, and I'll collect these. I'm going to wait till they turn a nice red color and start to fall off, which is going to be pretty soon. You can see that one there. And let's go ahead and pop that open. Let's see how many seeds are inside there. Oh, I dropped it. Sorry. Well, I can't do it one-handed, but anyway, I'm going to let these seeds go to full maturity, and we'll come out here and pop these off, and we'll pop them out and save them and put them in next year's seed kit. I'll probably plant a lot of these in the house starting September, October of this year, and let them grow throughout the winter so that we can have a lot more asparagus to plant next year. And then we have some, this is a Jersey Giant asparagus on this end, and here we have a white variety of asparagus. I planted 3, and 3 popped up. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3 right there. but we're starting to get some seeds on these as well. So save your seeds from everything so you can plant them next year. Alright, we have here in the first few rows some kidney bean. These, okay, let me start over. If you haven't seen any of my past videos, this entire area right here is basically the same thing that you get in like a 16 bean soup kit. They have, most popular is 15 bean soup, but there is also 16 bean soup, and that's what the majority of this is. We have kidney beans, navy beans, lima beans, baby limas or butter beans, garbanzo beans, and some peas and black-eyed peas, and all that stuff is right here. Now, I don't know what's what. If I know it, I'll spout it off, but otherwise we're just going to kind of check and see how they're growing. You can eat some of these as snap beans because they look, this I believe this first row is probably a kidney bean, but look, it looks just like a green bean. You can, use it as snaps when they're young and tender. If you don't want to do that, you wait till it gets to its full maturity, and then you just collect the seeds. And you can see how poorly the plant is doing, but it's still producing some beans. And even through the grass. So hopefully we get better and better.